Welcome, you're with Vanessa and Andrew for another 90-minute functional yin yoga practice. Now, our plan when we were putting this sequence together was actually to prepare two sequences, one for the upper body and one for the lower body. But as we were developing the practice, we thought, why not double it up? So this practice includes postures which target the upper body and the lower body at the same time. So you're getting double benefit in each of the poses. It is a bit of a challenging practice, but we hope you enjoy it. We're going to start as usual just by taking a few centering breaths before we get into the poses. So come to a comfortable position on your mat, ideally seated upright, either cross-legged or kneeling. When you're ready, just closing the eyes, or if you prefer to leave the eyes open, just directing the gaze towards the floor. Turning the attention inwards, we're just taking a few breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Perhaps taking note of how you're feeling physically today. Scanning the body. And taking note of how you're feeling mentally or emotionally today. And once you've done that, just let it go. We'll come back to those snapshots at the end of our practice. But for now, just taking a deeper breath. Big inhale. Long exhale. Giving ourselves time to let go of anything we've brought to the mat today. Preparing to spend the next 90 minutes or so focusing on the postures and the effect of those postures on our body, on our physical body, our energetic body, and perhaps on our emotions. Just a few more breaths here now. Perhaps starting to bring the attention back to the space that you're in. Noticing any sounds around you. Bringing your awareness back, preparing to move to commence our practice today. So gently blinking open the eyes if they're closed. We're going to come to a child's pose position to start. So coming over onto all fours. Sitting back into your child's pose, walking the arms forward. From here we're going to walk the body forward, so just moving the hips forward and back slightly, perhaps adjusting the width of the knees. We're looking to find a position where you've got a little bit of stretch through the groin area. So you could be on your hands or maybe bringing your weight down onto your elbows. Maybe moving slightly in this first pose, just finding somewhere that gives you a bit of a stretch through the groin. You're also going to be working a little through the shoulders here. And then we're just going to hold here for a short time. Almost warming up the body by getting an initial stretch through the groin and shoulders. Allowing the body to encounter any first level of resistance it may be feeling. Just another breath or so here now. And then we're going to walk forward a little more, perhaps adjusting the width of your knees, maybe moving them out slightly. You could also adjust the position of your feet if you wish. We're looking to come into more of a frog position, so hips are going to come a little closer towards the floor. Chest and shoulders will also sink a little closer towards the floor. Again, you can walk your hips forward or backwards just to find stretch that suits you through the hips and the groin area. You may be feeling a little bit of something through the glutes as well. And if you've walked your arms forward, allowing the chest to fall towards the floor, then you'll definitely be feeling a bit of a stretch and an opening through the chest and shoulders as well. I'm just going to hold here in this position now. This can be quite a challenging position for many people. Quite a lot of pressure on the knees, so you can certainly use some padding for the knees like Andrew's demonstrating. You're just looking to use the breath to help you work through the tension that you might be feeling. Continuing to inhale and exhale. And now slowly pushing the body back up, bringing the knees back together a little. I'm going to come back into our child's pose for the rebound. So knees can be apart or close together. Just allow the chest to come down towards the floor. Relax through the arms, perhaps bringing them back alongside the hips. We're just going to rest here for a moment. The purpose of our rebounds in yin is to really feel the echo of the pose. So just noticing any changes, any sensations that you might be experiencing following our first posture. And when you're ready, slowly coming back up to a seated position. We're going to continue working the groin and also the shoulders in our next couple of postures. So we're going to come into a dragonfly position. So Andrew, I'll get you to demonstrate the full version of the pose with both legs out to the sides. And then as you're ready, just allowing the body to fold forward. I'm going to sit with our arms out in front of us, palms facing up for this one. So an alternative option is to come into a half dragonfly pose, which is what I'm going to demonstrate. One leg out to the side, one leg bent, and also just walking the body forward, arms out, palms up. So in both postures here, we're working the groin as well as the arms, shoulders and wrists. In my case, I'm working the left side of the groin because I have my left leg straight. So I can feel a stretch running right down the inside of my left leg. If you're doing the full version of the pose like Andrew, then you'll be feeling it down both sides. Just relaxing here. We're not holding these postures too long today. Because we are working both the upper and the lower body at the same time, you do want to try and consciously relax into the poses, relaxing as much of the body as you can. And if you're in the full dragonfly pose here, just flipping the hands over now so that palms are down on the ground. If you're doing the half dragonfly like me, we're going to switch to the other side. So this time I have my right leg straight, left leg bends in. And again, bringing the body down, hands out in front, palms facing down. So again, still working the groin, the arms, the shoulders, the wrists here. You should be feeling slightly different sensation through the arms and shoulders. Settling into stillness and allowing the body to relax. Letting go of any muscular engagement. Letting the stretch move to connective tissues in the body. All the way down the inside of the leg or legs. As well as through the arms and shoulders. Just continuing to breathe here. And just pushing the body back up now. Maybe having a little shake or roll of the shoulders. Getting some movement back into the arms. Before we come into our final version of this posture, so if you're doing the half dragonfly, just straightening your bent leg. If you're in full dragonfly, staying where you are. And then we're going to roll forward. This time, really consciously rounding through the spine. So your arms can be wherever is comfortable for you. We're looking to make sure that we're rounding through the back and the spine here. So this time we've moved from feeling the stretch in our arms to feeling the stretch in our thoracic spine, maybe in our cervical spine if the head is dangling forward. You'll obviously still be feeling the stretch in the groin area down the inside of both legs. So ensuring you're relaxed through the feet and the legs here. Letting go of any tension through the muscles running up either side of the spine. As always, continuing to breathe as you hold this posture in stillness. Been here for a couple of minutes now, so you may find you have a little more room, that your edge has moved. So if you wish to round a little more, fold forward a little more, make any adjustments, and then just come back to stillness for our final couple of moments in the pose. Enjoying this place of quiet for both the body and the mind. Nothing you need to do here. Just relax and breathe. And now moving slowly, just pushing yourself back up. We're going to come into a rebound now. So whatever position you're comfortable in, perhaps lying on your mat, perhaps it's seated upright. Making any adjustments and then becoming still again. Noticing the effect these last postures have had on the body. On our lower body, we're working through the groin area, the inside of the thighs. May also have felt that a little stretch through the hamstrings. And in our upper body, we worked through the muscles in the arms, the shoulders, the wrists. And we also stretched the back body by rounding the spine in our last posture. So what are you noticing in those areas right now? Coming back to an upright position now, we're going to move into our next posture. So we're going to work down the length of our mat, bringing the left leg forward, sort of at, I guess, right angles. Bringing the right leg back behind us. We're coming into our up swan position to start with. So weight comes up onto the hands. Foot can be wherever is comfortable for you and for your knee, so it can be closer towards the hip or closer towards the front of the mat. Back leg is stretched behind. In this posture, we're obviously using our arms to support ourselves, so we're carrying a bit of weight through the arms, but our real target area is the hip flexor, so the front of the thigh of the straight leg. You may also be feeling a little bit in the hip of the bent leg. You may also be feeling a little bit in your lumbar spine area, so the lower spine. Bit of compression here. So relaxing the lower body, you will need to maintain a little bit of energy through the upper body as you hold yourself upright in this position, but allow your lower body to relax. Just breathing here. Again, we're working in stages with this posture, so we won't be holding in this position for too long. Going to now walk the hands forward, bringing the body towards the mat. So just as far as you feel comfortable coming forward, it may be just down onto elbows. You may be able to bring your body all the way down to the mat. Again, in this posture, you're going to be feeling a stretch through the glute and the hip on the left side of the body in particular. And if you walk your torso towards your left knee, you're also going to start to get a bit of a stretch through the obliques on the right hand side. Maybe coming into that hip flexor again on that side. So just testing out what feels right for you today, and then settling into stillness. Using the breath to help release any tension you may be feeling. Just inhaling and exhaling. We can carry quite a lot of tension through our hips and our glutes area in the body, and so really holding in stillness in these positions allows the body to gradually relax and let go of that tension. Most people will find it does take some time before those muscles truly relax, and then we feel the stretch moving into the connective tissues in that area. So just walking back up now, We're going to leave that left knee bent in front of us and then just swing the right leg around, coming up over the top into a shoelace position. Now you can come into a tight shoelace where knees are stacked, as Andrew's going to demonstrate, or you could be in a loose shoelace position where the right foot is on top of the left knee and the left foot is under the right knee, or really anywhere in between. So if this is not good for your knees, then just move the positions of your feet forwards and backwards to find somewhere that's giving you a bit of a stretch through the hips, but without causing you any pain or pinching in the knee. We're going to stay upright this time around and come into our cow face arms. So arms come out to the side. Right thumb points down and comes behind the back. Left arm comes up over the head, bend at the elbow and reach back to take hold of opposite fingers. If you can't reach your hands here, then just perhaps take hold of your shirt, back of your shirt. So we're stretching through the hips and IT band here in this posture, but we're also stretching through the arms, shoulders and chest. Just continuing to breathe here. So I'll turn towards the front so you can see an alternative perspective. Final inhale and exhale. And then leaving your legs where they are, we're just going to release the arms, pushing arms out to the side. So imagine you're pushing the walls apart here. Just releasing through the arms. And then we're going to swing the right arm over the top of the left in front of us, coming into our eagle arms. Backs of the palms may be together, or perhaps you can put your fronts of your palms together. If you can't touch hands in this position, you can always take hold of opposite shoulders. So still working our glutes in this posture, but then also working through the back of the shoulders here. Perhaps closing the eyes. Turning the attention in. And now releasing the arms, and once again pushing the arms out to the sides. Taking a big stretch here. Letting go, and then perhaps rolling the shoulders, taking any other small movements that you need through the upper body. Then we're going to move to do the whole sequence to the other side. So this time, right leg comes in front. Coming into our up swan position. So right leg in front, left leg out behind us. Taking the weight into the hands to push the body up. Remembering the foot, the front foot can be anywhere close towards your hip or further towards the front of your mat. Maybe adjusting where your hips are. Looking to feel some stretch through the right glute, but also the stretch primarily in the left hip flexor area, the top of the hip. You may also feel some compression in your lumbar, your lower spine. And obviously we're taking some weight into the arms and shoulders, so you'll be feeling something there as well. If you're not feeling that stretch through the hip flexor, then you can try to bring yourself up a little higher. As Andrew's doing, he's rested his hands on his front knee, but you could also use a block or a bolster. Just be very careful if you are resting your hands on your knee that you're not putting any extra pressure into that knee. For some people that would be painful or potentially causing injury, so only you know how your body feels, and just need to make sure that you're listening to that in every posture. If it's not working for you, if it's causing you pain either during the pose or afterwards, then make sure that you adapt the pose, or of course come out of the pose if you need to. So on our next breath, we're going to walk the hands forward now, folding over that front leg. Coming down onto elbows, maybe walking the chest down towards the mat. Moving the stretch to the right glute and hip. If you walk your hands and torso towards the right hand side of the mat, then you'll also be bringing that stretch into the left obliques. So finding your version of the posture and then becoming still. Allowing the time and gravity while we're in the pose to allow those muscles to relax, release. Inhaling and exhaling. Using the breath to help us hold in stillness in this pose. And when you're ready, pushing the body back up. I'm just going to swing that left leg around to stack either at the knees or at the ankles. Coming into your version of shoelace, whether that's like me with feet on top of knees, or like Andrew, he's got his legs further around so that his knees are stacked. Or maybe it's something in between, something a little looser. Looking for that stretch through the hips and the glutes here. Then going to bring our arms out to the side. This time our left thumb points down. Bend at the elbow to bring the left arm behind our back. Right arm comes up towards the sky and we bend at the elbow to meet at the fingers, or if you can't reach your fingers, again just taking hold of your t-shirt. You could use a strap here if you have one close by. So stretching through the hips and the glutes, as well as through the arms, the shoulders, maybe through the chest. Closing the eyes if they're open, or just allowing your focus to become soft. Noticing the sensations in your body. Where you feel any areas of tension or stretching. When the posture becomes challenging, then just turning the attention to the breath. Noticing your inhales and exhales. Releasing the hands, pushing both arms out to the side. Pushing apart those imaginary walls here. Just getting a stretch through the arms and the shoulders. And then we're going to bring the arms in front, left arm crosses over the top of the right at the elbow. Crossing at the elbows as well as the wrists if you can. Or you could take hold of opposite shoulders. Just looking to feel a stretch across the back of the shoulders here. Just finding your version of the pose. And again, becoming still. Final couple of breaths in this pose now. And we're going to release the hands. Again, pushing the arms out to the side. Just having a big stretch through the arms and the shoulders. Maybe moving the neck if you need to. Allowing the arms to come back down by your side when you're ready. And then moving slowly, because we've been working the hips for quite some time, just releasing the legs. You may want to take a couple of windshield wipers as a counter pose here, so just moving the knees to the left and to the right, getting some internal rotation to the hips and the femur after all that external rotation we've been doing. And then just coming to a position for your rebound, so perhaps lying back on the mat. Letting the hips and the shoulders rest. And observing the echo of those last postures on the body. What are you feeling through your hips, through your shoulders? When you're ready, pushing back up, I'm going to move into our next posture now. So we're coming into a Sphinx pose, so lying on your stomach on the mat. Coming up onto the elbows, you could take hold of opposite elbows so that your arms are stacked under your shoulders if you wish, or you could bring them out in front of you, perhaps clasping the hands. So in this posture, our target area on the front side of the body are the abdominal muscles, so coming up the front of the body. Front of the stomach, perhaps coming a little bit into the hip flexors, depending on how high up you are in your Sphinx pose. We're also feeling some compression in the lower spine, the lumbar spine. This posture is a really great counter to many of the sitting positions we find ourselves in during the day, so sitting on sofas or office chairs, in cars, we're always hunching forward. We have our hips, we're bent at the hips, so our lumbar is often rounded rather than arched. Our hip flexors are shortened. So in this pose, we're reversing some of that by arching through the back, stretching out through the front side of the body. Find you're not able to come up onto your elbows in this pose. For some people it is too intense. A couple of things to try are to adjust the width of your legs. So whether your legs are closer together or further apart can have a big impact on what you're feeling in the base of your spine. And you don't actually need to bring yourself up high to get benefits out of this pose. So you could be even just lying on your stomach with your arms underneath your head, and you're still going to be stretching out through the front side of the body and increasing the arch through the lower spine a little. So wherever you're at, whether it's right down on the mat or higher up, you're going to be getting benefits from this pose. We're just going to push back into our child's pose again now. Moving slowly, a bit of a counter to the arch of the spine. We're now rounding through the spine. We won't be here for too long. Just working the lumbar spine through its full range of motion, arching to rounding. And then we're going to come back into another version of the arched spine. So just a few breaths here. Inhale and exhale. And then walking yourself back forward again, back into that same Sphinx position. You could bring a block or a bolster with you this time if you wish. So starting either as you left off on the elbows, or as Andrew's demonstrating with your elbows up on a block or a bolster. Coming back to that same target area, the abdominals on the front side of the body, maybe stretching down into the hip flexors. We're also targeting some healthy compression for the lower spine. Just breathing here. We've been in this position before, so maybe taking note of what feels different this time to the last time we were here. If you're finding it's a little easier, then maybe you can challenge yourself by bringing your torso up a little higher this time around. If that first posture was enough for you, then of course you can also lower a little. Making any adjustments that you need and allowing the body to relax, become still. All the time continuing to breathe. We're not holding our breath in any of our postures. If you find that you are holding your breath or your breathing is becoming a bit choppy, then maybe it's time to just ease back a little. you're finding, as we've been here now for a little while, you could move a little further into the pose, then there is the option for the remaining 2 minutes to come up into a seal posture. So if you wish to do that, just pushing up with your hands, walking your hands towards your body, any amount, increasing that arch through the lower spine here. You'll also be increasing the stretch through the front side of the body, really stretching out the stomach muscles. Depending on where you have your arms, you'll also be increasing the stretch into the hip flexors, the fronts of the thighs. Doesn't really matter where your shoulders are here. For some people, they like to sink into the pose and sort of hang in their shoulders. For others, they prefer to push down and carry the weight through their shoulders. So either option is fine, so long as you're not causing yourself any injury or pain. Just finding a position that you can hold for the remainder of the time. We have another 30 seconds here now. So holding in stillness, inhaling and exhaling. And slowly allowing your body to come down now. We're going to take a rebound on our front. So just coming down onto the mat. Maybe resting the forehead on your palms. If you're feeling tension in your back, you could bring the left leg up to the side, just turning your head to the left. That will help release any tension that you might be feeling there. Just holding here for a few breaths. And then maybe straightening that leg and taking the right leg up to the side, turning the head to the right. Just helping to release through the lower back. And then slowly pushing yourself back up to a kneeling position. We're going to come into a saddle posture next. So if you'd like to use a bolster here or a block to support your upper back, then you can certainly do so. So coming to sit on the heels. You can sit on the heels or between the feet, depending on how you like to perform your saddle. If you're using a bolster, just bringing that behind your hips here. And then when you're ready, just walking the body back, perhaps coming back onto the elbows to start with. Taking a minute or so to allow the body to adjust. And then if it's in your practice, you can, of course, bring yourself all the way back onto the mat as Andrew's going to demonstrate. Saddle's a great posture for opening up the front side of the body. In this pose, you're going to be feeling a stretch through the quads, the front of the thighs, the hip flexors at the top of the thighs, right up the abdominal muscles, all the way up the front of the torso. And if you take your arms up overhead, then you may also be feeling a stretch through the chest here. Again, we've got a little bit of compression in the lower spine. So you will be feeling something there, but as long as it's not causing you any pain or severe pinching, it's all healthy stress that our bones and muscles need. So just relaxing into your pose now. Feeling that healthy stress right up the front side of the body. As we relax and our muscles let go here, the stretch moves into our connective tissues, fascia, tendons, ligaments. In addition to the front of our legs and the front of our torso, we're also getting a bit of a stretch through the ankles here. Gentle pressure on the sacrum. Just breathing here. When you're ready to move, moving slowly, you can either use your hands to push yourself back up or simply roll to one side, releasing the legs. Coming into your rebound, I would suggest lying on your back. Again, just taking this short period of time to notice the effects of that posture on your body. Giving all the tissues of your body a chance to return to their normal position. Before we get ready to move again. And And when we do move, we want to move slowly. We're going to come into a position which will be, or a posture which will stretch the side of our body this time around. So if you have a bolster or a pillow, a rolled up towel, that'd be really handy for this next pose. We're going to use it across the mat, bringing it just underneath our hips. So lying on our side. Thanks, Andrew, for demonstrating. We're going to bring the bolster under our hips. Legs come out straight, or as straight as is comfortable. Same with the arms. So this is sometimes called a mermaid posture. Top leg can come forward or come back. When you bring it back, you will find that it intensifies the stretch through the IT band and also the glutes. But just find where is a good stretch for you today. It may be that your legs are stacked, or it may be that one is forward, one is back. Feeling that stretch right the way down the side of the body. Working through the glutes, the obliques, the connective tissue down the side of the leg, the IT band. If your arms are overhead, you'll also be feeling a stretch through the arms and the shoulders here. Maybe even into the front of the chest. I find that this posture is one of those that can feel quite challenging when you first come into the pose, but then as you hold in stillness, the body really does start to release. Allowing you to find more comfort in this position of discomfort. So perhaps noticing how you feel in the pose now that we've been here for a while. Have the sensations changed? Where else can you allow the body to relax? And coming to the other side now, just rolling your body so that your opposite hip is on the bolster. Allowing your body to drape down towards the mat. Knees can be bent or straight. One or both arms overhead perhaps. Remembering that if you move the top leg towards the back, you're likely to feel more of a stretch through the hip, the glute, the IT band. In any case, you are stretching those areas, as well as your obliques, the side muscles of your body. And with your arms overhead, also stretching through the chest, the shoulders. So finding the pose where you can allow the body to relax. Again, working with gravity here to drape over that bolster, create that arch through the side of the body. Continuing to breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Allowing yourself to sink into the pose. If you find your mind is wandering to thoughts or distractions, and just bringing the attention back inwards. Observe your experience in this pose. Observe your breath. Final inhale and exhale. Moving slowly, we're just going to move enough to be able to remove that bolster. Push it out of the way, come to your rebound position. So however you're comfortable, lying either on your front or on your back, maybe on your side. Perhaps it's just sitting quietly in an upright position. However you feel you can best. Focus on the sensations in your body. Noticing what's changed from our last posture. Noticing any heat or coolness, energy changes within the body. And then preparing again to move into our final posture before our Shavasana. If you're not already lying on your front, if you could move to lying face down on the mat. Coming up onto the elbows into that Sphinx position that we held before. Right leg's going to come up alongside us. You may want to rest your head on the left arm. So walking that left leg out to the side as far as you can, and then reaching back with the right arm to take hold of the foot or the ankle. We're then going to allow the body to fall towards the back. So coming into our cat-tail posture. Lovely twist through the spine here. We're also stretching through the front of the bent leg. So the hip flexor, the quad. Feeling a stretch through the glute on the top leg. Stretching our abdominal muscles and opening up through the chest and shoulders here. You can try adjusting the position of the head to see what impact that has on the stretch for you. If at any stage you feel any tingling or numbness in the fingers, then maybe adjusting the head or lowering the position of the arm, or just release any nerves or blood vessels that are a little bit trapped in this position. We don't really want to be feeling tingling or numbness in any of the poses, so if you do, just make any adjustments that you need and then return to a place of stillness. Enjoying this great whole body stretch here. I'm preparing now to move to the other side. Just releasing, coming back to lying on your front again. Coming into that Sphinx pose, so weight on the elbows. This time left knee slides up alongside the body. Head can come into the right arm, right hand. Walk that right leg out as far as is comfortable, and then reaching back with the left arm, taking hold of the foot or the ankle. Pausing. And then when you're ready, just allowing the body to fall back towards the earth. Enjoying this spinal twist. Stretch through the quads, the hip flexors, the glutes, the obliques, chest and shoulders, and the whole length of the spine. Big inhale, long exhale. Let go of any tension. Final couple of breaths here now. And slowly unwinding. We're going to come straight into our Shavasana now. So perhaps lying on your back, adjusting the hips and shoulders to find a comfortable position. Whole body on the earth. Again, turning the attention in. And as you breathe here, just taking stock of how you feel in your body. What has changed in the physical body for you? How are you feeling energetically? Where is your mind at right now? So I'll leave you in silence for the remaining few minutes, just to enjoy the effects our practice has had on the body and the mind. In your own time, starting to bring some movement and life back to your body. Taking any movements that you need to conclude your practice today, perhaps wriggling fingers and toes or taking a big stretch. Maybe hugging your knees to the chest. Gradually moving back to an upright position. Ready to continue your day. Namaste. I hope you've enjoyed this practice. Thank you for joining us. Namaste.